Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to take the deepest possible dive into the world of Queen Elizabeth II coins, covering every denomination, every effigy, every country that issued them, the full historical background of her reign on coinage, the most famous errors, the rarest key dates, the highest auction prices ever achieved, and why these coins are some of the most fascinating pieces of modern numismatics, because from the moment she took the throne in 1952 and her portrait was prepared for release on coins in 1953, she became the most widely depicted individual in coinage history, with her effigy struck on billions of coins across more than 30 nations including the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Bermuda, Jamaica, Hong Kong, Fiji, and many others throughout the Commonwealth, and yet within that vast ocean of coins are hidden treasures, rare dates, proof issues, low mintage runs, and dramatic mint errors that have turned what might seem like an ordinary penny into a small fortune at auction. And to understand the full story we begin with the effigies, because there were 5 official portraits used during her reign, each designed by a renowned sculptor and each representing a different stage of her life, starting with the Mary Gillick portrait of 1953, which showed the young queen with a wreath of laurel in her hair and without a crown. A bold choice at the time that captured her youth and optimism, and this portrait was used on UK coins until decimalization in 1971, on Canadian coins until 1964, and on many other Commonwealth issues in the 1950s, and collectors treasure high-grade examples of these early pieces, especially the 1953 proof sets, some of which have sold for thousands of dollars when complete, followed by Arnold Mackin's portrait introduced in 1968 that showed Elizabeth II wearing the tiara given to her by her grandmother Queen Mary, a portrait that conveyed maturity and elegance and was used widely through the 1970s and 1980s. Then came Raphael Maklauf's portrait introduced in 1985, which had a more regal appearance with elaborate detailing, followed by Ian Rank Broadley's portrait in 1998 that was notable for its realism and less flattering approach, and finally Jody Clark's design in 2015 that closed the circle by presenting a dignified elder monarch. And these changing portraits themselves are collectible because they help collectors date coins quickly and they serve as milestones in the Queen's long reign, but within these designs and across multiple countries are the rarities that drive auction excitement, such as the 1954 Canadian Arnpria silver dollar which sold for over $60,000, the 1955 Canadian 1-cent no-shoulder fold variety which has exceeded $12,000 in red mint state condition, and British proof sets of 1953 that have achieved over $100,000 in gold versions, and even humble base metal coins like pennies, nickels, or halfpennies have reached values in the thousands if they display a dramatic error such as being struck on the wrong planchet, struck off-center, double struck, or showing double dies, and the auction catalogs of Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, and Spink are filled with examples where collectors have paid astonishing sums for these coins, and if we break it down further by country we find countless highlights, such as in Canada where coins like the 1965 small beads and large beads cent varieties are important, or in Australia where the 1965 penny in pristine condition is extremely sought after, or in New Zealand where lower mintage pre-decimal issues featuring Elizabeth II are surprisingly scarce and command hundreds to thousands of dollars, and across smaller Commonwealth territories like Bermuda, Jamaica, and the Caribbean states, coins were often struck in low numbers and today are avidly collected, some selling for thousands when in gem condition, and while common circulation pieces might only be worth face value, the truth is that condition makes all the difference, as a penny found in pocket change may be worth nothing while the same date in MS-66 red condition certified by PCGS or NGC can sell for several $100s, and this grading factor is why certification plays such a vital role, with top-graded examples constantly setting new records. For instance, a Canadian 1955 no-shoulder fold cent graded MS-65 red by PCGS sold for over $8,000 while uncertified examples rarely exceed a fraction of that, and this pattern holds true for UK, Australian, and other Commonwealth issues as well, proving that collectors value preservation above almost everything else. But beyond condition there are also proof and specimen coins that were never meant for circulation and were struck in limited numbers, and these are some of the hottest segments of the market, with early proof sets from 1953 often selling for thousands, special gold issues for jubilees and anniversaries reaching tens of thousands, and modern low mintage commemorative proofs in silver and platinum commanding impressive prices on the secondary market. And as the decades passed and her reign extended into history, demand for coins with her portrait only grew, reaching a peak after her passing in 2022 when collectors worldwide rushed to secure mementos of the late Queen. And this surge in demand caused even ordinary coins to increase in value while rarities skyrocketed to new records, and experts believe this trend will continue as her coinage represents an irreplaceable chapter in world history, and collectors across the globe actively search for keywords like Rare Queen Elizabeth II Penny, Most Valuable Elizabeth II Coins, Elizabeth II Coin Auction Record, and Queen Elizabeth II Cent Error, proving that demand for knowledge and ownership of these coins remains enormous. And to give you more auction highlights, we can look at the 1970 British proof penny which, being a non-circulating issue from the final year of pre-decimal coinage, regularly sells for hundreds to thousands depending on grade, or the 2002 Golden Jubilee gold coins which have achieved thousands at sale, or the 2012 Diamond Jubilee issues which were struck in low mintages and are already highly collectible, and moving to Commonwealth coinage in Africa and Asia, coins of Elizabeth II from countries like Rhodesia, Hong Kong, and Fiji are increasingly desirable, especially in high grade, because they represent colonial issues that are no longer being minted, and their historical importance adds value. And when you step back and consider the entirety of Elizabeth II coinage, you realize it spans from copper pennies to massive gold proofs, from everyday circulation to presentation pieces for royalty, and from nearly worthless worn change to six-figure auction rarities, making it one of the richest collecting fields in modern numismatics. And for collectors new to the field, the best advice is always to look carefully at old coins in drawers, jars, or inherited boxes, because while most may only be worth face value, a rare date, an unusual variety, or a high-grade survivor could be worth hundreds or even thousands, and for advanced collectors the hunt is often for the finest known examples, the spectacular errors, or the proof and specimen coins that are seldom seen, and this diversity is what makes the series so attractive, because there is truly something for everyone. And while the Queen herself has now passed, her image will live on in these coins for centuries as tangible artifacts of a reign that spanned 70 years, and as markets continue to reward rarity. In this final part of our exploration of Queen Elizabeth II coins, it is important to understand how the long history of her coinage connects with today's collector market, because these coins are more than just pieces of metal used in everyday commerce. They are reflections of a monarchy, of global history, and of numismatic artistry that spanned over 70 years. And as her effigy appeared on coins across more than 30 nations, collectors today face a wide field of opportunities, from simple copper pennies and bronze cents to silver crowns and gold proofs, and the strategies for collecting these coins can vary depending on your budget and interest. Some collectors focus on building a typeset showing each of the 5 major portraits from Mary Gillick's 1953 youthful design to Jody Clark's 2015 elder effigy, while others chase key dates like the 1955 Canadian cent with the no-shoulder fold variety that has reached auction records of over $12,000 in mint state red, or the 1954 Canadian Arnpria dollar that brought more than $60,000, or the 1953 British gold proof sets which have sold for over $100,000. And these headline numbers show that while the majority of Elizabeth II coins may be common, there are spectacular rarities that command world-class prices. And what makes these coins even more special is how errors and varieties continue to be discovered, with doubled dies, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and wrong metal errors constantly surfacing in collections, some of which have sold for several $1,000s depending on denomination and severity. And for collectors interested in investment potential, graded coins certified by PCGS and NGC are essential because they give buyers confidence and maximize final sale prices, with examples like a Canadian 1955 no-shoulder fold cent graded MS 65 red bringing over $8,000 when uncertified versions of the same coin barely sell for a few hundred, showing just how important professional grading is. And this applies equally to UK pennies, Australian decimals, New Zealand florins, and Caribbean issues, all of which rise significantly in value when certified in gem condition. And looking beyond rarity and grades, collectors also cherish the historical commemoratives such as the 1977 Silver Jubilee issues, the 2002 Golden Jubilee coins, and the 2012 Diamond Jubilee sets, all of which were minted in limited numbers and have proven highly collectible. And as the Queen's passing in 2022 created a rush of demand, even common coins surged in value, with increased attention on low mintage years and proof coins that have been overlooked for decades. And this has created a ripple effect in the market where collectors who once ignored ordinary pennies and cents now carefully examine them for rare varieties or pristine preservation, and with auctions continuing to achieve strong results. It is clear that Queen Elizabeth II coins will remain one of the most dynamic areas of numismatics for decades to come, because unlike many other modern coin series, her reign covers an enormous range of countries, metals, denominations, and historical events, and this diversity ensures there is always something new to discover, from the scarce Bermuda crown to the Hong Kong dollar, from the Fijian cent to the Australian pre-decimal penny, each telling part of the story of the Commonwealth and its most iconic monarch. And for new collectors, the advice is always to start small by sorting through inherited collections or searching online listings for affordable yet high-grade coins, while experienced collectors can aim for rarities at major auctions where the biggest returns and historical pieces are found. And it is worth noting that as Charles III coins begin to replace Elizabeth II issues in circulation, the nostalgia and historical importance of her coinage will only increase, driving more collectors to focus on securing her coins before prices rise further. And already, auction houses like Heritage and Spink have noted stronger demand for early proof sets and low mintage circulation pieces, while online marketplaces show increasing prices even for uncertified coins, all of which points to a growing collector base that will continue to elevate values. And so whether you are holding a common bronze penny or a rare gold proof crown, it is always wise to research its history, compare auction records, and consider grading if the coin appears well preserved, because what looks ordinary to one person may in fact be worth thousands to another, and that is the joy and surprise of numismatics, a field where knowledge truly becomes profit. And as we conclude this two-part deep dive into Queen Elizabeth II coins, remember that her coinage is more than currency, it is living history struck in metal, covering the second half of the 20th century and the early 21st, and representing the face of a queen who reigned longer than any before her. And while collectors will always debate which issues are the most beautiful, the most valuable, or the most historic, the truth is that together they form one of the greatest coinage legacies in the world. So if you have these coins in your home or collection, look at them closely, learn about their varieties, check their grades, and you may be surprised at the treasures you hold. And for those who are passionate about coins, the story of Queen Elizabeth II offers endless opportunities for learning, collecting, and even investing. And with that, we wrap up this final part of our in-depth coverage of her coins. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with fellow collectors so more people can learn about the incredible value and history of Queen Elizabeth II coinage.